Survey published in the Fairfax Press on racism earlier in the week. You can hardly say that there are no racists in the country anymore because 12% of Australians actually declared themselves. Yeah, if you take the definition that you've got a prejudice against a particular culture, that makes you a racist.
But what's it all about? What is this navel-gazing, this constant looking at ourselves and asking ourselves who we are and what we are? I mean, there's much more domestic violence in this country and biffos between drunken blokes on a Saturday night in the pub than there is racist attacks on each other. I mean, why don't we just get on and live the life? I mean, I can't understand that. That survey had been going since 2001 or something. I mean, it's
12,500 people were surveyed over about a 10-year period.
A 10-year period, and then they come to these conclusions. Some of the questions looked fairly open-ended to me. And, I mean, the proof is in the pudding and the way we live and the way our communities are. And I just can't see the sense in this nonsense.
Do you see it has any impact, though, on the politicians and the way they think and the way they campaign?
Yeah, I think it does. And I don't think you can sort of dismiss it. I think, obviously, these kind of sentiments do exist in the community. There's no doubt about that.
But what is it? But if it does, what does it matter? I mean, what does it matter if it's not played out in any way, in the way people live their lives? If they... I mean, I don't understand why we continually have to ask ourselves whether we all get along.
Well, there are times when we don't get along. I mean, I think the Cronulla riots was an example of that. Yeah. You know, you do often get attacks on Muslims and the way Muslims are either integrating or not integrating into Australian society. So, you know, these things kind of bubble away, and every now and again they surface. And I don't think you can pretend that they're not real. I mean, they are real. And the thing is to work out ways of constructively engaging.
And of course, if you pick on Muslims, you can be described as a racist. Did you appreciate, though, that if you pick on the Irish, equally, you're a racist?
Well, that's been happening.
Let's have a listen to Bill Heffernan in Senate estimates, and
the Greeks,
the guest of the Parliament at the time. The guest of the Parliament, by the way, not that he was treated as a guest, was Alan Joyce, the head of Qantas. Here it is.
Mr. Joyce, thank you for that long answer. I think you could talk under cement.
I'm Irish, Senator. I could probably talk a lot.
You come from a long line of Irish bomb makers, do you?
Probably just as well he didn't say that to somebody of Middle Eastern extraction, I guess. Malcolm Turnbull confronted the issue, whether he was talking directly to his colleagues or to the country as a whole. We can talk about that, but here he is on Lateline.
There was a time, you know, a couple of generations ago, when Australians saw themselves as being British. And so if you came to Australia from another country, you were meant to sort of go into the melting pot and come out of it British. But we recognise now that our Australianness is part of that diversity. We share in the Chinese New Year, you know, the Lunar New Year festival. We share in the Greek and Italian festivals. It is part of our way of life.